So Ruby L. Range was my grandmother. She was from down in Sulphur Springs, and she married Fuller Berry, but I don't know what year that was. But they had 5 daughters and 1 son. This quilt was dated June 15, 1911, and nobody really knows who made it. But it was given to my grandmother because, that's her name, and she would have been about 16 at the time in 1911. So anyway, there's not a lot of history because we don't know who made it. There's speculation in the family that it was a great aunt, but nobody knows for sure, and that's kind of one of the sad things, that even today's quilters sometimes don't put labels on the backs of their quilts. And so one of these years when somebody's standing here talking about them, they're not going to know who made them. This quilt is called a bow tie quilt, and it is in the blues and reds and pinks and creams, and it's faded some, but if you think about it, it's over 100 years old. One of the things I like about this quilt, I started quilting in 1988. I lived in Memphis, and a friend invited me to go to a quilt class. I thought, oh, okay, fine. So I go, and I get hooked. Of course, she never goes back. So anyway, that's kind of how I got started in 1988, and I've been quilting ever since. But the very first quilt I made, when I got it finished, it wasn't straight. I couldn't get it to be straight. It just was off square. And I had done it quilt as you go, which meant that I made each block, quilted it, got all 12 blocks done, and then tried to put it together. And when I tried to put it together, it wasn't square. And so I thought, okay, I'm a failure. And then I happened to notice on this quilt that whoever actually made this quilt had the same problem I did. So her solution was just to stick in a little piece of fabric to make that border straight. So I thought, oh, okay then, my quilt's fine. I love my quilt. And the other thing that happened on this quilt, if you look at it, the binding is blue right here for about a yard, and then it becomes pink, and it's pink the rest of the way. So what that tells us is she ran out of pink fabric, or she ran out of blue, one or the other. But it was no big deal for her just to, use what she had. It was a utility quilt. So this one is a really special quilt.